Riddle me this. Which one of these Batman Forever bad guys is the better bang for your buck? Place your bets and stick around. It's time for a villain versus. Welcome to 5 Points of Articulation. Today, I'm taking a long overdue look at the DC Multiverse Batman Forever Riddler and Two-Face. Starting with the packaging, and they come in matching extra wide build-a-figure window boxes. Once again, we're collecting to build the true breakout star of Batman Forever, the Nightmare Bat. Names and logos are on the spine. In my previous Batman Forever video, I noted how Batman and Robin got red spines and this one was back to black. But honestly, this logo on a black background was the teaser poster for the movie, so really, it does make sense. On the back, we get a drawing of the Nightmare Bat. Not gonna lie, I think the solicitation photo would have been creepier and more effective. Either way, we get a key of his parts, how to build him, and all the figures in the wave. Despite minor differences, these boxes are identical, so for packaging, this round is a draw. Moving on to presentation, and Riddler stands at 7 inches, or 18 centimeters, with Two-Face coming to 7¼ inches, or 18½ centimeters. Appropriately enough, Harvey's only half new, sharing lots of his body parts with Aaron Eckhart's Two-Face. This including his lower extremities, as well as his arms. The interesting thing is how each Two-Face figure approaches his coin gimmick. Eckhart is simply holding up the coin similar to how he did in the movie. The Tommy Lee Jones figure, however, captures the look and feel of flipping it. This is very clever and creates a pretty cool effect. The good half is a perfect likeness of Tommy Lee Jones, while the bad half does a remarkable job of recreating Rick Baker's makeup. The dividing line between the two isn't quite as clean as it was in the movie, but that's okay with me. I'm just so impressed by all the detail, both sculpted and painted. On the subject of painted detail, McFarlane didn't miss a trick. Tommy Lee's various animal prints are all present and accounted for, and they've been stamped on very, very crisply. Not just on the broad strokes, but also in the joints. Well, not the joints, but you get the idea. Given the movie it's based on, this looks way better than it has any right to. They even did a good job recreating his fingerless left-handed glove. The only real inaccuracy on Two-Face is his left shoe, which should actually be a steel-toed gaiter. That attention to detail on Two-Face makes my disappointment in Riddler all the greater. At a glance, and I do see Jim Carrey here, but I can't help but feel like they chose one of his derpiest expressions. In fact, I'm pretty sure they based it off of this promo image. To be honest though, my major criticisms aren't with the head, they're with the body. To McFarlane's credit, I don't think they could have done much better in terms of sculpting this body. With Riddler wearing a bodysuit that was practically painted on, there was no avoiding these joints. Unless of course they wanted to go with his jacketed look. I will say this is the most flush with the body I've seen McFarlane pull off a diaphragm in a diaper, so Eddie does cut a pretty good silhouette. Don't get me wrong, the question marks we got are great. They're crisp and vibrant, and I'm happy that we got them on the back, but with nothing on the sides, nothing on the rotator cuffs, and most glaringly nothing on the knees, there are so many blank areas just sticking out like a sore thumb. Again, comparing him to Two-Face, I don't know what happened. With this being an all-new sculpt, I guess they did have to factor in the budget somewhere, but the sculpting now being paid for, I kinda hope they reissue him with all those gaps filled in. Again, maybe with his hat and coat. The other major inaccuracy with Riddler are his sleeves, which should actually wrap around his thumbs. For presentation, this round goes to Two-Face. Riddle me this. What's the quickest, easiest thing you can do to support this channel? If you said hitting that like button, you'd be correct. Moving on to Poseability, and whatever complaints I had about Riddler in the last category do not apply here. Of course, both heads are on dumbbell joints. They can look up this high with Harvey having a slight edge. Here we have straight ahead, and down with Two-Face once again having the better range. Tommy Lee even has the deeper tilt. Moving down, and Dent can raise his arm higher, but Riddler gets the better rotation. Both bad guys have bicep swivel and equivalent double-jointed elbows with matchingly perfect bends. At the ends of the arms, and both of our villains have swivel wrists with equivalent hinge both up and down and side to side, but moving to the middle, Edward has a diaphragm joint and a dumbbell waist, whereas Harvey's articulation is hindered by the jacket. Not surprisingly, Riddler has the deeper arch back, but in grand DC Multiverse tradition, neither one can really hunch forward. They both get tilt, and to be honest, I feel like Two-Face is a bit bit better, but of course both get twist. Below the waist and both have the standard McFarlane hips. Jim Carrey has the higher kick, but Tommy has the deeper split. Between the two, and Eddie has the better twist in the hip. Moving down, and both have double jointed knees, but Harvey has the deeper bend. He even has the deeper toticulation. That said, the pant leg does interfere a bit with ankle articulation, while Riddler has no trouble with swivel, hinge, and like the tone of these movies from Burton to Schumacher, pivot. I was so torn on this category that I actually broke down each individual joint, and somehow, despite Jim Carrey being a literal human rubber band, for Poseability, this round goes to Two-Face. Moving on to Playability, and both figures have trading cards. It's cool because you can actually see where the two pictures overlap. Moving on, and both figures have stands, and as a former district attorney, we all know how important taking the stand is to Harvey. As for character-specific accessories, Two-Face comes with an alternate right trigger hand. This was taken from the Dark Knight version. Obviously, McFarlane wasn't allowed to include guns, but if you have a couple you can pilfer from some other figures, he can dual wield. Otherwise, Two-Face has a fist, reminding me of the scene where Riddler asked him how to hit a guy. Riddler comes with his iconic cane. I assumed it would be the exact same as the one that came with the classic Riddler, but that's not the case. Though very similar, they are individual sculpts, but both are just as soft and prone to warping. He can hold his cane in either hand, but Eddie also has an open palm right-handed one, as well as a fist, and this adorable little wind-up grenade for when he blew up the Batcave. This is a really fun little addition. Of course, with this being a Build-A-Wave, we've got a couple of Build-A-Figure pieces, and in the spirit of Thanksgiving leftovers, Two-Face comes with a wing. In my Robin video, I gushed about the texture and painted detail. Riddler comes with the body, and just look at those drumsticks. Down here we got our little bat feet, and then on the chest is the porthole for the stand, which comes with Batman. But Playability is more than bats and bat-shaped grenades. It's also about how well your figure plays with others. Starting where it all began, and here are the original Kenner figures, back when you could actually have the gun molded right in their hands. Otherwise, for a comic-style Riddler, here's DC Classic, and for a video game, here's Arkham City. Still no comic-style Two-Face, but here he is dressed as Batman, and once again, here's the Aaron Eckhart version. For a couple of other Schumacher villains, though, and here's Poison Ivy, and Mr. Freeze. From villains to heroes, and here's Chris O'Donnell as he appeared as Robin in Batman Forever. But for the curious among you, and here's Chris from Batman and Robin, along with Alicia Silverstone's Batgirl. And since they did technically share a scene together, Alfred. This brings us to Batman himself. This one comes from the Ultimate Movie 6-pack, but for those who might want to customize Kilmer's Panther suit, here we have Clooney. That said, just for jollies, here we have Keaton, and since he never had a Riddler or Two-Face of his own, Affleck. For those who might want to try to work these villains into their comic-style shelf, and here's Three Jokers Batman, the diminutive DC Rebirth, the blue and gray version of Hush, Page Punchers awaiting the Noel upgrade, and as we wish for a video game version of Harvey, Arkham City. For a relative scale comparison, here's Riddler and Two-Face with Pizza Spidey and the Spectacular Spider-Man. And as always, here they are with Stealth Iron Man. You know, Harvey, we have a lot in common. Oh? How's that? I'm also only half a man, benefiting from 2 additional character-specific accessories. For Playability, this round goes to Riddler. This leaves us with nothing left to discuss but the price. Both villains are still readily available at their retail price of $24.99. As of this recording, Riddler's slightly less expensive on Amazon, but that kind of thing fluctuates from day to day. For price, this round is a draw, but the battle goes to Two-Face, 4-3. Nightfall. I forgot to show them with Nightfall. For more Riddler and Two-Face, check out one of these, and until next time, play nice and have fun.